it's Scrappy Peeps. Suzanna here today for ThermOWeb, and I am excited to share this new product released by ThermOWeb and Unity. It is the Ornamental Pines Stamp and Stencil Set. So I created a 12 by 12 layout with a large photo using all of these products. So I will show you how I created the background as well as the embellishments that I used during the same thing. So I just have one of these small, it's not a Misty, it's one of those off-brand Hampton Roads. It's been pulled off the shelves now, stamp thingy-me-bobber positioner, and I have 3 colors of Catherine Pooler ink here. So they are 3 gradations of green. So it's Seafoam, Sea Glass, and Deck the Halls. And I am then going to create rows of these green trees that move down the page for a thick background border. And so you can see I started with Seafoam, and then I used Sea Glass, and now currently I'm using Deck the Halls, which is the darkest green, and I want to do that the whole way down the page. This is just craft cardstock. So I showed you what I'm going to do, and then I will repeat that. So the trick to this is not a clear stamp, so I know where the top of the stamp is on my cardstock there, and so I have to shift it up exactly in order to get it to match. It's a lot harder to get it to match when you're not working with a clear stamp, so it's kind of a shot in the dark, but you kind of get the idea of where that is, and there is a little bit of overlap, but that's okay. And so I sort of picked it up to check it, and then I'll go ahead and stamp just as I had been doing, using that same color gradation. I actually have 2 sets that I'm going to work with, one because I made a bit of a mistake, but that also gives me plenty of, you can see the one there. So what I was showing you there that I've already done, because I don't have the 2 minutes, is spray the back of your stencil with that really awesome spray. Wait 2 minutes for that to dry, and then your stencil sticks to the project that you're working with, which is super awesome. So this is the really awesome ThermOWeb Duo Gel. I am rubbing a nice layer of that through the stencil, and this is how you are going to get that really awesome foiled look. I love the new formulation of this transfer gel here. So because I'm working on a 12 by 12 sheet, and if I were to set my stencil down again, it would smear, so I had to wait for that to dry clear, and then I did a second application down the bottom half of the page. So this is actually 2 repetitions of the stamp plus probably a quarter, so I was able to get the top and the quarter, let that dry, and then do the second application. So now this is dried clear. You need to make sure that it is absolutely clear, and it requires a whole lot of patience. Then you are going to cut your foil. So this is the new foil. It has also been released with this. This is gold glitter, and you're going to cut it slightly larger than the size of what it is that you want to cover, and put it in a parchment sandwich. Make sure when you put your foil down that the colored side is out, so whatever color foil you are using is going to be facing you, and then the clear silver, or the silver side, will always go down onto that tacky surface, that Duo Gel in this case. And then I'm going to run it through my hot laminator, and you guys, oh my goodness, be prepared for the awesomeness that is going to come out of this. Look at this. I am so excited. So I didn't cover all of my gel, which is why that stuck a little bit on the parchment. Look at that. I don't even have to show you the shimmer in the light, but oh, that is so good. So that is going to be the left-hand border. I foiled another piece, which is what I'm going to cut some embellishments out with. So this is the piece that I'm going to cut the embellishments out with. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to make a shaker. I want to have one of these trees as the cover on a vellum shaker. So I'm using pattern paper that will be the background. Then I'm going to put vellum on top of that, and I could have used a die. I have a die for this, but it was just easier off the top of my head to just sort of hand kind of wing it. So I cut the tag out of the cardstock first. Now I am cutting it out of the vellum, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch down each of the outer edges and then the bottom, so that I can then pour my gold glitter stars that I just then poured all over my table into that little opening there, and then seal that off. I am off camera also going to use some slightly bigger stars, just a few of them in there for a little bit of just to add a little bit of variety to that pocket. But I love the way that the trees are softened in the cardstock by the vellum, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the die that accompanies this really awesome set and die cut that out to put on top of the vellum pocket there. So I'm using some repositionable purple tape. I always have that. You can see that little purple piece sitting. That's a super old piece on the left-hand side. I always have that sitting on the top of my manual die cut machine so that I can always access that. While I work on a metal plate, sometimes they do shift, and so I love how I don't have to go back and do it all over again, because waiting for that stuff to dry, while as amazing as it looks, my patience is very limited. So I don't want those dies to shift, which is why that purple tape is perfect. And I now have 4 of those Christmas trees or trees to do some embellishing on my page with. I have no plans at this point in time. I just know that one of them is going to go right there. See, I thought maybe 2, but I really like the simplicity of just the one, and it really allows you to focus on how really awesome that is. So next to where I scrap in my caddy full of goodies, glues, scissors, you name it, I have saved all of these clothing tags, and I often like to just cover them up and use them on my projects. Here I thought that I would use a tag on top of the tag, but I actually just want the string. So I cut off the, it's kind of a fancy, it's a sort of, it's leather but not leather, a pleather rope. You'll see it in the close-ups. I really like the black look rather than using black twine. I wanted something with a little bit more substance to it. So that is the shaker, which will go somewhere on the page. So most of what I'm using here is actually that tree that I made myself. So I have this slim, thin sliver of pattern paper, one with the plaid and one with the B side that has those holly leaves on it. And I just like the way that the green in the pattern paper brings out the green of the trees, and then the black and white holly just it finishes off the right hand side of the page, grounding it a little bit. So originally I thought I was going to have a little bit more white space and not have these literally bookend the layout, but in order to get room for the shaker, I needed to move them out. So I will trim them, I will shift them out once I realize that I am running out of room. So I'm not sure what size this photo is. I think it might be, so it's 6x4 that I blew up and printed. I want to say that it's 8x10, but I can't swear by that. And then looking at the page now, it might be 5x7. 5x7? Anyway, it's a larger photo, and it is of my son and my daughter decorating the Christmas tree. This was last Christmas. No, we have not done that yet. And I converted it to black and white because I really liked just the way that the lights look. And one of the things that with Christmas presents, with Christmas pictures, is there's always so many colors, which I find to be visually disturbing. Not disturbing, but just visually busy. And so in order to express the emotion on the page and not get hung up on the color, I converted the photo to black and white. So I have mounted that photo on a very pale mint green, but I like the way that that mint green on the black just really pops the photo a whole bunch. So I'm going to put a small black mat behind that, and that is going to, that's literally the focus of the page here. There's not a whole lot of journaling on the page because literally it's, you know, the title of this could have been Deck the Halls. It's them decorating the tree. And really, what much more is there to say other than that they're decorating the tree and the year? So these are elements from Freckled Fawn, left over from previous kits. I just sort of pulled them all together because I really like the black and the simplicity. And I wanted the shininess of the trees to stand out. I didn't want a whole lot more embellishment other than that. So I'm just going to use those three labels. My original intent was that they were going to house all of the journaling and have both of the chipboard pieces there, but the plans change, right? We got to be flexible. Plans always change. And so it's just got a simple line of journaling in one of them, and the rest is really just more embellishment to the page there. So trying to figure out where this tag is going to go. I really wanted it to be straight upright, just as the photo is straight upright. And in order to do that, I am definitely going to have to shift things on the page a little bit because I don't want to cover up too much of Nicholas's leg there. For those of you who don't know, ThermOWeb has recently released a really awesome adhesive eraser. That's what I was using when I stick things down. Sometimes always when we stick things down, right, we get a little bit of adhesive gum that gets left behind, and these erasers are fantastic at picking that up. So you've seen me use that twice now. So those are some of the die cut trees. I am going to use them up the top there, and I like the way that they complement and create the visual triangle between that top right cluster of trees there over to the left to that whole forest of trees, and then back down through the photo to the right where the shaker pocket is. So I'm using some of the foam. I have, I'm sure if you follow my work, you'll know I have this giant roll of ThermOWeb iCraft foam. I love it. It has lasted me. I want to say I started this. I really wish I'd written the date down somewhere. I thought I did, but I can't find it. I think this foam has lasted me over 6 months. And those of you who know, I use foam a lot. Every page has foam on it. So that is the bulk of the layout. Now what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more. With the dies, you get two awesome sentiments. One of the dies says happy, the other says holidays, and then another one says merry, and then the other one says Christmas. So two phrases or 4 words. And I am just using merry because when you're decking the halls, you are merry. Well, one would hope you are. These two definitely were. And so I'm just using merry in a tag there. Again, and it's with the black because that complements the picture very nicely. It could have been sufficient to just be the title of my page, but I had that space up the top left that I'd intentionally left for title, and so I'm going to use that up and actually put a title, and I will do that off camera there. And these Marys just sort of serve as subtitles to the page there. And I'm going to use my Ultra Bond to put that down and adhere that. So that is pretty much going to wrap up my video, my friends. I am sorry that this is not clear, but it's pretty clear what it is that I'm doing here. I'm not sure why it's fuzzy. Everything else was clear. If you have any questions about this super awesome new set, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. I will also link you to where you can get those in the box down below. Enjoy the close-ups, and if you haven't already, be sure to check out the hop over on Instagram. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Take care.